So we're back, and we want to talk a little bit about genetics. You understand recessive and dominant traits? Okay. So we had a discussion the other night. I was doing it on a live, and I was telling someone about how a bad gene could be passed from a grandparent. What's the probability of that taking place?
Well...
Oh, he's about to do a punt in the square. I know it's coming, baby. I know it's coming. I know how to do this, people. Go ahead, let him show.
If you keep it simple... Sorry, my left hand's going to fight you the whole time.
You are left-handed.
Yeah.
I just saw.
Oh, he might be a wizard.
So if you have parent 1, 2, right? If they both have one dominant, one recessive gene. So dominant, big, recessive, little, and just parent A, parent B. And then if you were to breed those, so two different, and then you're talking about grandparents. So then you would have, so these, let's see, so these are kids, right? And let's say you're going to breed, big A, little b, to big E, big E.
There.
So essentially, here, you got a recessive gene from grandma or grandpa. So it all depends on just, there's so many variables. But do you keep breeding to things that are dominant? Or, because you would have to here, where are we at? On these two, you need to breed to something double dominant. Again, just trying to get rid of it, whatever that gene may be.
And
So
here's
it may take a couple generations.
So you hear that? It may take a couple generations. So let's walk through the process or probability of a elbow dysplasia.
Elbow?
Yeah, elbow dysplasia. Now, is that genetic?
Yes.
And let's say you bought 2 dogs and you get them tested, but you didn't know that grandma and grandpa had this issue, so you don't really know what the recessives are. You have your next litter, and 2 dogs out there got bow legs or legs that look like parentheses.
Both of them are going to carry a recessive gene then. I believe it's recessive, I don't know,
Yeah.
dominant recessive, but both of those parents are going to carry the elbow dysplasia gene.
So,
If you have an offspring with it, you have to carry that gene to pass it on.
so here's the thing. I mean, mind you, people, this is like literally impromptu. There is no script for this. We're literally having a discussion, which I love because I'm here to inquire so I can continue to inform. I believe that health testing is important. I said that on my live. I'll say that again. The challenge is anything's possible. Now, the more information we have, clearly, the better we can do. But reality is there's still dogs, there's still God, and there's still too many variables, and even environmental variables could cause certain issues. And even Chris talked about he could have a dog with perfect hips and still have CCL disease. So now I got 9s on my hips, and I'm just throwing a number out there, and 2 TPLO surgeries.
Yeah, just because that leg is built at an angle. So instead of our leg being straight,
Yeah.
right? So you got knee joint here versus here. All the time, even when they're just standing, they're putting strain on that.
It's always being
Cruciate.
strained.
Always.
Which is
Where-
why even
versus
blood
us,
supplements
we-
are important.
Right. Us, we're relaxing, we're standing, there's no strain on the ligament. It's just chilling. But with these dogs and cats even, I mean, they're always just putting strain on it. Just on a lot of dogs, it's not a matter of if, it's just when.
Damn. So you hear that, people? Now, in your opinion, and I know you've done some tests and some hip stuff for people sending x-rays. What do you like, pin hip, or what's the other one?
I use OFA just because it's what I've been around.
Okay. And outside of the testing being important, is it a huge factor? I mean, should it be like, because me and Christian talked about it a little bit. I was on the phone here before I came here. And I said, you know what's crazy? When people do say, hey, we do all this health testing. If you do all the health testing, why don't you raise the price of the dog by $3,000? Because on average, those tests collectively, heart, culture, all these little tests, they $1,000 after they're all said and done, right?
It can be.
So that means the price got to go up. But realistically, that price isn't always built in. So what are the real benefits of health testing from a vet standpoint?
Knowing that you're theoretically breeding healthier animals to better the breed, like we've talked about, months ago.
Months and months ago.
Just bettering the breed at any given point. Now, I have seen excellent hips, bred excellent hips, and get a mild hip dysplasia. I've seen it. Because I've done the OFAs. But you're just trying to better it. Like you said, anything can happen. I mean, just like people, you have superstar athlete, dud of an athlete.
And they always use the analogy of Jordan and Jordan's brother.
Right.
And he said, you'd be like, damn, Jordan had a brother. He'd be like, yeah, he could dunk and do everything. But he wasn't Michael. He was not Michael! So
Just anything.
Anything is possible. So again, I told them, and I'm telling you guys this, in our third generation, I'll have a better idea of kind of where we stand, and I'll have more information on every dog from where we, how we got there. And that's for me when I'll start kind of documenting our health concerns or our risk for health and stuff. But that's just my opinion. Remind you, I told you before, I agree with health testing. I'm always going to recommend getting a dog from a health tested person. I would also make sure you're getting health tested. And I don't. But I'm telling you, make sure with all that, you getting health tested too, because no matter what happens, it's a 1 in 7 chance if you have 7 puppies, 1 in 5, 1 in 3 chance that something goes wrong, even with all the testing.
Yeah.
Well, people, there you have it. Definitely comment below. I normally don't tell you that. Jamarcus, so give me some feedback with what you want to know and hear more. You just saw the Putnam Square. Put in perspective, because again, someone says, I don't think it's true that something could come from the grandparents. It's like, well, where do you think it does come from?
And I tell you all the time, think about us. Okay, let's say you have red hair. Your mom and daddy have black hair.
Yeah.
Your granddaddy had red hair. It came from somewhere. Your mom and daddy, black hair is dominant, red hair is recessive. Somebody carried it, which means both of them somehow carried it, and then it came out. You were one of the percentages.
There was a point, whatever percent, and boom.
I mean, is that an 8% chance? Well, how many sperms get released in an ejaculate? Divide that out on percentages.
Yeah.
I mean, if your concentration's 1 billion, that's a lot of different combinations.
A lot of variables.
I mean,
damn, dude. That's food for thought too, people. I'm going to go down a genetic rabbit hole at some point, but I will tell you I love having this perspective because this guy does health testing here. So if you are looking for a place to get health tested, you might want to come up here to Live Well Animal Hospital and learn from Tadlock, especially when you're working, trying to get your dogs or whatever, cat as well set up. But at the end of the day, in fact, you got to breed the dogs in front of you. You got to make sure they live a quality life. You got to make sure they're getting exercise. You got to make sure, believe it or not, you're not overdoing it, especially in the first year. And we're going to take you through a series of x-rays almost by the month. I think month 3 to 6 is critical and 6 to 9 is crucial. After 9 months, you get some calcification depending on breed, but definitely going into month 12 to 16 is where you're like, here's the framework.
yeah. And that's why OFAs are preliminary until they're 24 months old.
See what I'm saying? And in Chris's case, tell him about this too. There are certain heart problems that can't even occur until the dog's 2. So imagine you go and get a heart exam done or your heart OFA, whatever it is, done, right? And then you can't even find the dog at 2 to see if the heart's still good because the heart is still developing.
Yeah.
So I love the test, I do. But most cases, there are a 2-year minimum to really see what happened or what's happening with your breed, right?
Yep.
Or your dog, my bad. Guys, listen, this has been informative. My mind's kind of going crazy. Definitely thank him for drawing perspective, literally. Take care of your dogs, man.